So I'm down here in my basement again, and today we're going to model a sneeze. So what I've prepared is 6 pieces of paper laid out here along their long ends so that they just butt up against each other and go along the table in a line. And then the other thing I have is a regular spray bottle. You could get this at any home improvement store, any store really that's going to sell cleaning supplies. Now in that bottle, I've placed just some water and just a little bit of food coloring. That's going to be able to let you see the sneeze as it comes out of our spray bottle. The other thing that's going to be important is that little bit of coloring is going to get onto the paper, and we're going to be able to actually see where the sneeze that we're modeling went. Now, what I want you to be careful with is because we're using food color, it's possible that it could stain. So it's important to look at the type of food coloring you're using and make sure that it's washable. So here's a couple of things to keep in mind. What we're going to try to do is we're going to try to keep the spray nozzle such that it's shooting out horizontally in this direction. So for this particular bottle, that means I'm going to have to tilt it just a little bit so that the nozzle is now horizontal with the table. And then I'm going to try to make sure that I just tap the little handle there. I'm not going to squeeze it very hard because you're going to get a very fine mist and it's going to be very difficult to actually measure all of the particles that distribute across the paper. So just a little small tap. Of course, now we get to model all of these little spots everywhere. We're going to have to kind of add them up, and it's going to take a little time. So now I have my distribution. I've added up all of the particles along the different pieces of paper. I've gone ahead and written the number that I found on each piece of paper, and then what I can do is create a histogram. That histogram will show me about the average distance that these particles for my sneeze simulator actually traveled. So we're going to plot the number of particles as a function of the distance traveled. We're going to bin our data in page widths. That's 21.5 centimeters for each page width. And what we find is our data comes out in a beautiful distribution. So that's it. We've successfully modeled a sneeze using a spray bottle. We then created a distribution of particle distances for that sneeze. So now we can go through and analyze that data, see if we can maybe create a mathematical model. Now, that's actually more complicated than it sounds, but we can try.